Should you write like you speak? And how can you be authentic in both your writing and speaking and sound like you? These questions are coming up a lot lately, so we have English language expert Scottie Spurzem back with us again today to help us figure out how to not sound like a bot and manage this difference between writing and speaking. So what would be your instinct, your gut reaction, Scottie? Should I write like I speak?
Well, it just depends. It depends on where you are in the conversation, both in oral production or, speaking on Zoom even, or in an
Mhm.
email. So when I first meet somebody, I'm typically a little bit more formal until I understand a little bit more about them and the relationship that we
Yes.
are forging. And then as the conversation continues, it usually becomes more casual and more comfortable because we've gotten to know more about each other. Same with written. If you're writing a lot of emails back and forth quickly, you don't, well, and Erin, you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong, but I feel that you can let go of the greetings often and the salutations because of the familiarity. You're quickly tasking. It's okay to be much less formal with your information, sort of like texting, which is much more.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's because we're imagining they're already deep into the conversation. They've had back and forths, written or spoken. And so we sound a little more formal in our writing, but we can sound more like we speak as we go along, sound more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, even if I've sent, and I think I've done this to you, Erin, I've sent you an email and then I forgot something. So I'll start it out as me again
Yeah,
and then
right.
dive right in because those emails will be right back to back. Because
Yes.
right, one sent, you send the next one a minute later. You don't need to start all over again,
That's
with
so
that.
true. And that is like you speak, where you might be like me again. But you can do it in an email too, because we're already at that point in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I would add to that, we're also already at that point in the relationship where we've already established that it's okay to be informal. So I think also it depends, should I write like I speak, depends on my relationship with the person I'm writing to, right? I actually have a client in copyright law who they all speak much more formally and write much more formally than me. And I have to adjust my writing and never write like I speak when I write to them. But when I write to you and my teaching colleagues, I write like I speak a little more, much more informally.
Yeah. I think the other thing to remember too, and again, reflecting on the clients that I work with, often my clients feel like they have to present in a certain way. It's almost like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And
Mm-hmm.
they're never comfortable either in a face-to-face meeting or in the written form. And once they realize that they can still be their authentic selves, you don't have to lose who you are through these communication mediums.
Right.
They become more confident. And it shows in the conversations and the response from people when you're talking to someone and or in the emails. So, it's kind of a maybe. The answer to the question is
Yeah.
maybe, but I would lean on the side of more often be you, do write more like you speak. Uh,
Yeah, I agree. Every class I have these days, people tell me that they're tired of feeling like they read a robot's writing. Nobody likes bot speak. We have a video on that if you want to check it out.
yeah.
That it is actually, it's worth it to be authentic. It's better for the relationship. As long as you've already checked, is it okay to be less formal with this person, with this relationship? I actually had a student the other day who in the very, very beginning of class, she said, I'm really worried about my writing because I write like I speak. And I said, well, don't throw it all out because your speaking has some really good instincts. You already know how to adjust to your listener. You want to do that with writing too. So I told her, don't let all that go because probably your speaking mind has a lot of good instincts that you could lean into when you write as well.
Yeah. And I've honestly, my gut reaction is sometimes a turnoff when I get certain messages, emails from clients where they've clearly had Chat GPT
Yeah.
produce it because it looks and sounds, if you will, even though I'm reading it, it looks and sounds like nothing else they've sent to me before. So then
Right.
I feel like, wow, who was this? Who is this person? I don't know who wrote this, right? It's almost like
Yeah.
it's a whole different
It's a
thing, and I
surprise.
find it a little offensive, honestly.
Well, people are telling me that in class. They're saying, I felt like the writer didn't care about me because they didn't take the time to be themselves. They just put whatever was the easiest to come up with.
Yeah.
And the other thing about, you know, if we don't write like we speak, we could be overly formal and sound bureaucratic. So lots of reasons that, you know, look at the way you speak. It might have some pretty good things that you want to apply to your writing as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Great.
sure. It's like, don't be too hard on yourself. I guess that would be the other thing, right?
Right. You might have a good instinct already going. So consider it before you throw it away. Right. Great. Well, let us know what you think, folks. We'd love to hear in the comments. Do you write like you speak? Do you do it differently in different situations? And how do you show up authentically in your writing and your speaking? All right. Thanks again to Scottie for being here. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks for having me.